I like the word leadership, and I like that topic. It's on my list here, so we're going to jump to that. Again, you don't know what my list is, so I'm going to tell you what's on my list. I know we have won in my career with all freshmen, like a freshman load, like, oh, we're young, and then we've also won when we've had a lot of older, like we're all senior loaded. Man, this got to be the year. I don't think it really matters. What I do believe is it takes a certain leadership quality when it's a player-run team or a coach that has an incredible way of motivating and connecting with their players in a way that is timely. Again, you don't have to give the rah-rah speech every game, but there's times where you got to pick them up and let them run, and there's times to get out of the way and let them fly. What does a good characteristic of let's call it a freshman, since we're dealing mostly high school athletes on the call, a youth, a freshman athlete. I'm trying out for a team. Man, there's older seniors here. What are some things that they could do to demonstrate leadership that might not be the rah-rah in the huddle? And then what are some things a sophomore, junior, senior could do potentially as far as that growth process, if you wouldn't mind, so that we can have a little bit of a discussion maybe after this with the crew that's on the call about what we can do, because I really do believe that everybody can be leaders. You and I were leaders when we were 2021, leading in taking taking NFL players, $1 million players through workouts. There was a quality there that they listened to and bought into. And now looking back when we're 40 and 44, whatever the hell it is, I'm thinking to myself, what in the world were they doing? Listen to us. Like, we had so many things to learn, but I think there's a process there you have to go through as a leader. And as soon as you dip your toe into it, then you need a little more, and you need a little more. What's something a young leader can do to develop their leadership in a process oriented way?
If I had it to do over again and I was a freshman entering high school, a few things that jump out. One, I would make sure I was incredibly respectful of those that had already blazoned that path. So the sophomores, juniors, and seniors that were there, I'd be very respectful of the fact that they've created a platform and opportunity for me to come in and play, and I would want to learn from them. I mean, I would approach each and every one of them and find out what I could do to add value and contribute to their lives. But I would also want them to mentor me and to share the things that have worked well for them and say, hey, 3 years ago you were a freshman, now you're a senior. I would love for you to connect those two dots and share everything that you wish you would have done differently as a freshman, and share everything that you did do that worked really well. At the same time, I come in and say, well, I'm just a freshman, so I'm going to wait my turn and I'll be a leader when I'm a junior or a senior. There's nothing wrong with, doesn't mean you have to be the most vocal person. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. I've always been a big believer that leadership has much more to do with your behavior and being aligned with your core values and how you show up every day, than it is just being the one that talks the most. So I think in order to earn credibility, you have to find a leadership style that is very authentic to you, whatever your personality may be. And of course, you're somewhat malleable as a freshman. Like you're not fully formed yet. You will continue to develop skills and traits and change different facets of your personality and your leadership style. So don't put yourself in a box, but just be very genuine and authentic. But I think one of the most important things, and I'm a huge believer in the foundational principle of transformational leadership, which is going through the world, or going through life, looking at the world, saying, it's not about me, it's about you. Be less concerned with what you're going to get from people and be more concerned with what you can do for people. So show up as a freshman with the intention to make a maximum contribution to that team. Show up as a freshman with the goal of being the best for the team, regardless of whether or not you're the best on the team. Be the type of teammate that you want to play with. Show up with the type of attitude and effort, and be supportive of those around you, that people are so thankful to have you on the team. And when you do it that way, then you can begin leading immediately, and you don't have to worry about stepping on anybody's toes, because all you're there to do is to contribute and say, hey, I'm going to, within my role, do everything in my power to give us the best chance to be successful. And if everyone else in this team is willing to make that same commitment, then we'll get the most out of the talent that we have. And whether or not that's good enough to win a championship is irrelevant, because this goes back to the process. We don't control the outcome. Talent plays a major role in whether or not you can win a championship. But it has nothing to do with how you show up, with your attitude, with your effort, with your culture, with how coachable you are. Every team's goal should be the exact same, and that is to over-index and outperform the talent they have on paper. So if on paper you're regardless of whether you're mediocre or you're elite, you should try to outperform that and get the most out of your individual and organizational potential.